Hurricane Matthew will go down in history, I think, here on Hilton Head Island. It has certainly changed the island forever. Charles Cousins, Director of Community Development on most days, but for now and for probably a while, the head of the recovery effort. You were in the EOC during the storm, while the rest of us who had evacuated were just kind of watching on the Weather Channel, wondering what was going on on the inside. You guys were watching the Weather Channel, but a whole lot else, I'm sure.
Yeah, we were watching the Weather Channel, getting reports from people that we could, watching any kind of data we could get. It was windy and rainy.
It certainly was. Was there a change at the end, either good or bad, that in the last few hours that in the storm that we don't know about, that you guys got to see?
Well, the wind died down towards the end, as you might expect. We had tropical force winds for a good while that morning, but once those winds dissipated, we came back to the island and began trying to get places that had been affected.
Yeah, and now that we're in that recovery effort, we're in the recovery mode. You've got to kind of coordinate all of that and keep everything moving forward. Every business in town wants to do something, I'm sure, in some manner, way, shape, or form, every individual as well. How do you keep it moving? What should people do if they want to get things happening on the island?
The first thing I want people to do is be patient. There's a lot of damage out there, a lot of tree damage, some flooding damage, but it's important to be patient and realize it's going to take a while to get this back to where it was before. Be careful, extremely careful. We had no injuries during the storm. We don't want to have people hurt with chainsaws now falling off roofs, so be very careful. Thirdly, there's a lot to see out there, potentially, people may think, but it's important not to be out sightseeing and getting in the way of people who are trying to address the problems we have out there.
Yeah, that was certainly the concern of the plantations early on, that they didn't want people in there while people were still clearing roads and still doing all that. That's pretty much done now. People are back in. They're looking around. They're saying, okay, now what do I do? If you're a business in town, what do folks need to be doing? How do they need to be interacting with the town to get themselves on their feet the best way possible?
The first thing they need to do is we are currently trying to inspect all 19,000 structures on the island to make sure they're all safe. So once those inspections are done, we can tell you if your structure is safe to go back into or not. So they need to make sure first it's safe to go back in that structure.
Okay, and once they've done that, are there licensing changes, permit changes, other things they've got to do?
There are no licensing changes. When we inspect your building, we will put a placard on the building. It will either be green, yellow, or red. If it's green, it means there's no repairs really needed. You can go forward and do things. If it's yellow or red, it means there's been significant damage. You'll need a permit to come in and make those repairs.
Okay. For people at home, are there any precautions they need to take? Anything they need to run by town hall before they do? I mean, obviously, getting trees off the roofs and stuff they can get done, but what else? What do they else? Well,
the first thing I want them to do, again, is be safe. Yeah. But secondly, they need to check with their public service district about water and sewer. They can go to their web pages for their district. There's 3 districts on the island. They have a web page, and check that to make sure that the water is safe to drink or they can flush their toilets. That is very important.
And but no necessary permit. Are building permits going to be something we're going to have to go through the process, just like you were expanding your house? You've still got to do all that if you've got repair work to do?
Yes, sir. What we want people to do is go ahead and make their house secure.
Okay.
If you have a tree on your roof, you can take it off, put a tarp over it, but wait till that inspection's done, and then we'll have to get a licensed contractor to come in and get a permit to make your repairs. Okay,
and that'll hopefully get everybody going in the right direction. And what's your goal in mind? Have you got a date in mind where you'd like to have the town back to where we were?
Well, we're working overtime here to do this. Yeah. Everyone needs to know this. We're working 7 to 7 during the weekdays to give out permits, as well as 8 to 5 on the weekends.
Oh, that's good to know.
And so we will have the town hall open, trying to address the what we think is going to be a flood of permitting activity.
Saturdays and Sundays?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're going to get a day off here sometime.
Maybe so.
Hopefully by Christmas. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Charles Cousins, the Director of Development on most cases for Hilton Head Island, but right now leading the disaster recovery effort.